Hello, welcome to episode 19 of No Holds Barred. That's Sal.
Hello.
Hi, and I'm Don. Before we carry on today, I just wanted to say happy birthday, Sal, for Tuesday.
Thank you very much.
That was this week. So,
Another year older and wiser and freer of fucks.
Yeah. Yeah, so we're back again Thursday afternoon for Friday, which is nice. I'm not...
Like the Renegade Master.
Back on schedule. So we get this out tomorrow, hopefully on Friday. So yeah, we're recording in an odd week, I'd say, with what's happened this week. And I think last week we were very right-wing reform heavy, weren't we? And I think the temptation is there to be that again this week because of what's happened. But we need to try and keep away from that for the whole podcast, because otherwise we're going to get... I think I'm already getting tarred on Twitter with the brush that I'm obsessed with the reform, but...
That's because I've just told you you're only allowed to talk about reform now because I cover everything else.
Yes, I'll just tell me that before
we have to weigh it evenly, you see.
Before we started, Sal just said, no, you're not allowed to talk about the Tories. That's mine.
I've got all the other little bits of news. You've got all of the rest of it.
Well, I sent you a screenshot this morning, didn't I, of my initial notes, and it's just Reform Roundup, and it's just like me screaming into the void. It's been crazy again.
Don, let me tell you something. It's not your fault. And we know it's not your fault because, as regular listeners will know, I don't like a second of talking about what I'm now going to recall, after 100 defections, the Reformatives Limited Political Company.
I like it. It's catchy.
Right?
Yeah.
And because of that, I decided early doors that this week I was going to talk about anything else. So I think I messaged you and I said, we haven't done a bit on mental health yet, so let's talk about that, because we're people with brains, so
definitely,
we can do that. And then I had an experience in Warrington with some rabid children on Sunday, and I thought, I'll talk about that because this is definitely an increasing issue.
Yeah.
24 hours ago, the video of the child in Dundee came out brandishing weapons, and then that got hijacked by the right wing and Reform.
Did.
And then today, Richard Tice comes out opining on mental health. There's just no getting away from them.
I know. No matter what we do. Pardon me.
And also, just FYI, I will be medicating during this podcast because I have a very serious operation next Tuesday and I need to remain calm.
Yep, no worries.
So, yeah, that'll be happening at some point, probably when you're doing your bit. Okay. But I do have a weekly roundup of general bits of news. Shall I go forth with that?
Yeah, let's start with that, definitely. Go for it.
If you want to expand on the inevitable links that are everywhere, then great.
Of course.
So we had the story continuing on from Angela Rayner having legs. She's now bought a second home.
How dare she?
We've got a big problem with billionaires. New millionaires aren't the issue. That we should have more millionaires being created and, people having a second home, not like, I don't know, an enormous property portfolio like, say, Jeremy Hunt or Jacob Rees-Mogg, which is funny because Annunciata Rees-Mogg came out and had to go at Angela Rayner for, I think the headline was 3 homes Rayner. Well, one's her house, one's the property that comes with the job that every deputy leader has had.
Yeah. And
the other one is a holiday home. Now, lucky her. That's what people work for. That's the dream. Okay, that's fine. What I wasn't prepared for was watching the press preview on Sky News on Saturday, I think it was, and hearing the exact same opinion from Gawain Towler of the Reform Board.
What?
Very perplexed, because it was a thoroughly reasonable position to take, and had me head scratching.
Yeah,
Don't know what
which
to
is
do with that.
unusual
But,
from anyone out of the Reform camp.
maybe there is a glint of room for reason within the Reformatives. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, fun thing today. Rachel Reeves is considering a national insurance tax on landlords. What might the upshot of that be, I wonder?
Yeah.
Never going to happen. Absolute nonsense. Nobody can afford rents to rise further than they already have, which is
No,
like,
very
I don't know,
true.
50% of everyone's salary or something. Get in
Yeah.
the bin, you tedious, odious individual.
No, I don't think that'll happen. But
Lib Dems very much leading in the integrity polls via Ed Davey, who very, very happy with Ed Davey again this week. What's going on?
Twice.
I'm
I know. I
very
think we're going
wary
to
of
have.
Ed Davey for obvious reasons.
We're going to have a praise for Ed section at some point, because it's happening all the time now. Every week we're talking about Ed Davey, and he's raising the stakes, as you say, in the integrity game.
We might have to have a weekly Ed Davey sponsored award or something, name it after him, because
The Davey
the
Award.
bar is low, but there's literally nobody else doing it.
Very true.
He's refused to go to the state dinner with King Sausage Fingers and the Orange Man Baby, which is a brilliant stance to take. And who's going to follow him? Anyone else? Anyone
at the back? Raise your hands at the back. Yeah.
Let's just see about that.
Well, I think I saw. I saw lots of responses to him saying that. All along the lines of it means nothing. You're a virtue signaling, blah blah blah. But I saw Ian Dale absolutely full caps on him last night, saying, "This is a pointless woke virtue signaling load of bullshit." Like, all right, Ian, settle down.
Indeed. And as I said to Ian Dale, funnily enough, what did I equate it to? Virtue signalling, much like dog whistling, is something you don't do yourself. He's actually doing it. He is virtuous. He's not signalling anything, you imbecile.
Right. Exactly right. Yeah, he's not writing about it going, oh, I might do this, I might do that. He's actually put his money where his mouth is and gone,
you should do this, I'm not, but you should do this. He's
yeah,
not.
Exactly.
That's what virtue signalling is.
No, Davy's put his money on the table. No, that's not the right phrase. Put his cards on the table. That's the metaphor. He's put his cards on the table and said, right, fuck you, Trump. Yeah. So good on you, Mr. Davey.
That's brilliant. What else have we got? The Tories, they're just decantering themselves into reformatives. So
aren't they just?
Nothing doing there. Kemi's probably coming up with the next line to shock everybody into arguing with her that she doesn't really mean.
Well, did you see her? I think it was yesterday. She's got a new website called RachelThieves.com, and she set up a website and a little avatar of Rachel Reeves, and it's called RachelThieves.com. And I just reposted and said I didn't think the Tories could sink any lower, but here we are at this stage, and they've gone. They've completely gone.
That started earlier than I imagined.
Sorry, Kemi Badenoch is...
That's not a serious politician. That's a rage-baiting psychopath.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And I refuse to be baited by her raging. Anyway. The Greens leader vote ends this Saturday. I really must sort that out. All hail Zach, I'm assuming.
You'd hope so.
It depends whether you want the Green Party to be anything or not.
Yeah, that's very true.
That's the only choice. That's it. And I did want to end the segment just on a little PSA to Ryland Clark, who I don't think he's a terrible fella, but I think he's been caught up in the culture war nonsense, and he was caught very out of his depth on This Morning this week, repeating reform talking points. So I just want to show that I'm going to use you, Don. I sent you a text earlier. I gave you 2 questions to ask me. so that Rylan and the people in the cash for contester industry can understand how to handle things. So could you ask me the first question, please, Don?
Certainly can. Sal, what's your opinion on quantum physics?
I'm afraid I can't answer that question for you, Don, because I don't know anything about quantum physics.
That's fair enough, and an
Could you ask me the next
completely
question,
acceptable
please, Don?
answer. Yes, question 2 I had was,
Right.
what is your opinion on this year's Premier League football so far?
Football isn't my field, Don, so I wouldn't like to opine on it because my information would be nonsense. Thank you. Do we all understand what's going on now?
This is it, exactly.
Excellent. Thank you very much. So if anyone
No,
could
that,
pass that on to Rylan, that'd be smashing.
I know, isn't it just such a ridiculous state of affairs to have. Now because I genuinely think Ryland seems like a nice guy, and I've heard him on various podcasts, and he's a very funny man.
Yeah.
And like you said, he's been
Yeah.
caught up in this culture war, and
Yeah.
it is purely what you've just highlighted perfectly there. That is, that don't start talking about shit that you don't know anything about. And he's now found himself in his position where he's got people like Tommy
It's
Robinson.
consequential shit is the problem, though.
Yeah, well, this Tommy Robinson's now like punting him out as this sort of hero of the far right. So is Liam Tufts. So all of that horror show on the far right are now trying to co-opt Ryland into their little gang of fucking assholes. And he's now stupidly found himself in this position. And I don't know why he said it, if he's been bamboozled by it all, but he fucking shouldn't have said it, should he?
Well, we'll see how he handles it, won't we?
Yeah.
Is he going to use it for clicks and cash? Or is he going to do the right thing?
Well, you'd hope he doesn't need the cash, right? I mean, it's not like he's short of a bob or two. He's always on bloody television. So
this is the question, isn't it, Don? How much is enough?
Well, yeah, true. Very, very true. Yeah, it's a very odd one, and I hope. I don't know. I've got no skin in the game with Ryland. He's never been one that I don't go about looking for him on telly or anything. But when I have heard him, I've thought, oh yeah, sounds like a reasonable lad, down to earth. He's actually very, very funny. When he's been
he seems like a really nice person.
Yeah. And genuinely a funny guy. When I've heard him on like comedy podcasts and stuff, absolutely freaking had me rolling in tears with the stuff he comes out with.
Oh yeah. Oh, he's very he was very down to earth.
Yeah.
But
yeah, let's see.
He's got decent advisors behind him, but I wouldn't hold my breath.
Yeah, no, but I kept seeing after it yesterday photographs of him being populated across Twitter of him and that Thomas Skinner character. So him and Skinner are very good mates. So
he tweeted him, didn't he?
Well, I saw someone post a photo of at least 4 or 5 different photos of Ryland and Skinner together in different places. So they're obviously mates.
I don't think Ryland's as daft as Skinner.
Yeah, I think Skinner.
I think he's bothered about people he upsets, whereas I don't think Thomas Skinner. Where there's no sense, there's no feeling, is there?
Yeah, I think that's right. But I mean, isn't Skinner? It's just it's another mask. He's another one wearing a mask, isn't he? He's a Mockney, went to the really expensive private school, all that sort of shit. But it's just another act.
Sort of feeding into the mental health chat. Well, sort of as a part of it.
Yeah.
For the years I've been recuperating from my mental health issues. I'm not even joking, my son used to watch The Apprentice with me. I used to watch The Apprentice because I didn't go anywhere or see anyone for a long time, really. And I would watch that just to know that I wasn't a thick idiot. And it worked every time. And I know don't get me wrong, I know a lot of it is curated, but
no,
Jesus Christ, those people.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. They've been single-handedly responsible for Katie Hopkins, Thomas Skinner. Who are the other ones that have come out of that? Michelle Dewberry. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Never mind.
All the people with no EQ and all the false confidence in the world.
Yeah, definitely.
Yay, capitalism.
Yay, promoting people way beyond their talents. Yay. Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, Ryland wasn't on my list, but yeah, I forgot about what that was yesterday. So I hope he can get out of the. I think he needs to get away from it immediately because he's been sucked into that Tommy Robinson wormhole, and I don't think that's him at all. But I don't know him, so we'll find out. Maybe he is.
What's the bet? And he'll do like a monologue to camera on This Morning.
Yeah,
Is everybody okay?
yeah. I mean, he's got a Radio 2 gig, and he's on Radio 2 with his own show. You know, surely the BBC have got to show parity with what they showed Gary Lineker for having the political opinions. You know, and at least Gary Lineker's political opinions were, stop fucking killing people in Gaza.
Yeah.
Ryland's bigging up Nigel Farage, for fuck's sake. So, yeah.
The country's biggest liar, on a par with Bojo.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I think equal, and those two definitely. So yeah, do you want to?
Odious creatures.
Indeed, they are. Where do you want to go next? Do you want to
That
do
was
the?
it, really. Well, that was my first bit.
Yeah. Do you want me to do my reform roundup before the mental health chat, or do you want to have a chat about mental health first? Because I think.
Oh no, do it first, because I'm sure we can come off it.
Yeah, I mean, reform roundup this week. I could have written. Well, I have written. I wrote a 2,000-word article yesterday about it, and I wrote another article, 1,800 words the other day about Farage, which I think.
And they were thoroughly excellent.
Oh, thank you very much. One of which is going to be out in Byline Times in a couple of weeks. So, yeah, keep an eye on that as well. But it's a bit of self-promotion. Got to shoehorn it in somehow.
Oh, you are flying, my friend. You keep it up.
Put this up today. This rather excellent. This rather excellent publication that came out today, which used to be the New European, and I didn't know they changed to the New World until our lovely friend Carol Hedges directed me to it this morning and said, "Oh, you got a nice mention in the New World magazine this week." I was like, "Did I?" What's the New World? So I had to run down to the post office and buy a copy. And lo and behold, they're talking about Ben Leo attacking me on Twitter last week. So that's quite interesting.
What did it used to be called, though?
It was the New European.
Because I'd heard of the New European, but I'd never heard of the New World. Is it New World?
Yeah, no, it's the New World now. It says, it says underneath, incorporating the New European. But they've gone flag heavy.
You're going all patriotic with a paper hat then, Don.
I know, yeah. What was I talking about now? How did I get onto that? I managed just to shoehorn in some self-promotion without. Oh yeah,
no, but
my
it
articles.
Should be. It's incredible.
Yeah, I'm writing up a piece for Byline on there on Nigel Farage. Basically, that one's about him. We'll talk about it more when it happens, but it's him going to Washington next week, appearing before the House Judiciary Committee in the U.S. Congress, which no other British politician has ever done before. Well, that was the whole kind of sort of tenet of my piece, was that it's, historically this would be treason. It really would, because he's not going there to, as his subscribers say, big up the UK and forge links. He's there in front of a committee of Jim Jordans to berate the UK.
All over the UK.
Exactly that. To talk it down, to say how bad we are, that we haven't got free speech. He says in front of the US House Judiciary Committee, you're not allowed to say anything anymore, as Stuart Lee often said. Anyway, that's for a couple of weeks' time. So my reform roundup could have been huge. But all I wanted to do was just mention their ridiculous fascist press conference that happened 2 days ago. Operation Restore Justice. It was all set up very... As I said, there wasn't many flags, so there's just one gigantic flag that they stood in front of, and they got their big shot of them in front of flags. They were dwarfed by it, to be honest. But the production design was good. You can't take that away from them. They spent a shitload of money on this thing, a lot of money.
They've got a shitload of money?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Ooh, remind me to talk about membership numbers with you at some point. Oh, sorry.
What, reform membership numbers?
Well, sorry, just as a very quick aside,
Yeah, no,
my
go for
friend
it.
sent me a screenshot of party membership numbers the other day because she's incredibly worried about Reform being the next government.
Yeah.
And she sent me the membership numbers for all the parties.
Yeah.
And Reform had something like 245,000. And I said, what you got to remember, Claire, is that loads of their rich backers have bought loads of memberships that don't actually belong to any human people as a tranche.
That's right.
To then be able to hand them out to people who don't really fucking want them. So nobody knows how many real members Reform have.
Yeah, and they won't let an
Which
audit
in
happen.
and of itself is undemocratic.
Completely.
In my opinion.
Yeah, 100%
Sorry,
is.
Just
no, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's Real Braverman, Suella's husband, let that slip a few months ago when he said, I think it was Christmas time, and he said, I'd bought several memberships for my friends. So, and then hastily deleted that message. But yeah, that's right. I mean, Reform are still what they always are, is just a closed off business that won't open their books to anybody. How they get away with it, I don't know. But Starmer, if you're listening, fucking just audit them. Find out how to do it.
Oh, he's
Find
fucking
out.
AWOL, isn't he?
On holes with his trotters up still, yeah. I know. He's doing a reshuffle. He's doing a reshuffle, isn't he? But we'll talk about that after. But it's only a mini reshuffle of civil servants and spads. It's not even, there's no ministers or anything moving around. But yeah, so Operation Restore Justice. Yeah, this was like an hour or so press conference they did. Nigel Farage spoke for about 10 minutes. It was pretty dull. Nobody really applauded. There was loads. There was about 50 or 100 maybe, let's say, definite Reform subscribers. They'd bust in to sit in the audience to applaud. And then there was about 20 or so journos as well for the questions afterwards. But when Farage spoke for 10 minutes at the beginning, he didn't really say very much. It was all a bit waffly, a bit kind of mood of the country, civil disorder. He kept saying that 3 or 4 times. He said that because he's desperate. Because we've nearly got through the whole summer with it without him kicking off again, or riots or anything kicking off. So then he said, I'm going to hand over to our head of Doge, Zaya Yusuf. And Zaya came on with the stage presence of, some roadkill badger or something. He's not a personable guy. He's not a likable guy. He's
a joke.
He is a joke. But Farage, I think, doesn't like him very much either. I think we were texting and you were saying that he, like...
Farage's face every time his little monkey jumped in was unbelievably hilarious.
Exactly.
They do not get on.
There's a big tension there, isn't there? And I wrote that at the beginning he was a bit edgy with butting in, but by the end of it, he was like fully confident to just sort of shift Farage over. He's like elbowing him out of the way. But basically, his speech
Sorry, can I just clarify? Just don't want to over-egg my pudding, but when I called him a monkey back there, I meant as in organ grinder and...
Of course. Yeah, no.
Just for,
Yeah. No one's gonna think that of you or us. It's not, that's not a unless there's an out of context NoHoldBarred Twitter account pops up somewhere. But yeah. So Yusuf,
hey, send me viral.
Oh yeah, it might for all the wrong reasons. Anyway, yeah, I can always edit that out. But Yusuf's speech was about 9.5 minutes. And I sat in the morning, about 5:30 in the morning, I put it on, listened to it from start to finish again. I made notes. I'm saying writing, I didn't write them, I typed them up. But his speech was unhinged. It was full on fascist, far right dog whistling. He was off the charts. He kept contradicting Farage as well. And Farage had previously said that they were going to remove us from the ECHR for 5 years. Go on, what's up?
No, I'm just laughing at the
Oh yeah, okay, sorry. I thought Yeah, he was.
Every
And
time.
Farage was saying we're going to disavow from the ECHR. We're going to come out of it for 5 years until we can work everything out. And Yusuf came on all like crazed and sort of like, no, that's not far enough. We've got to go further than that. We're going to come out of the ECHR. We're going to come out of the where was it? I'm going to read it out because it's
Refugee
mad.
Convention, wasn't it?
There was 4 big things. Sorry, bear with me. There we are. Yeah, he said, that's not far enough. We're going to come out of the ECHR. We're going to disapply our signature to the 1951 Refugee Convention, and even went as far as to say he disavowed the UN Convention on Torture and the Council of Europe Convention on Action Against Trafficking in Human Beings. Now, if that doesn't set off fascism alarms across the world, nothing will. Because it is it's textbook fascism, stripping away the rights of human beings under any guise is fascist. But this is just off the charts.
And expecting them to be trusted with it instead is the kicker.
This is it. So what are they going to replace it with? The British Bill of Rights, they say. They're going to write their own bill, which I think, I don't know if anyone remembers, Dominic Raab put forward a British Bill of Rights in 2022. When it was his plan then to come out of the ECHR to deal with immigration when he was a Tory minister. Well, he was a Tory
same
foreign secretary, rather.
Same.
Exactly. And I've said
there's not a siggy paper between them.
No, exactly. Like Reformer just dug into the Tory tombola, spun it around. Let's pick out a policy. Oh, there's the British Bill of Rights. We're going to nick that. They are effectively. I think Farage just wants to be the Conservative leader. I think as soon as it splits, he's going to move and try and co-opt the Conservatives and become, Conservative leader. I mean, that's...
The Reformatives.
Well, yeah. I think he'd be happy with Conservatives, though. Like...
But then how's he going to assuage all the Tories that he's pulled over to Reformatives?
No, I don't know. Yeah.
When he suddenly jumps back. I mean, fuck's sake.
The 101 whatever Tories he's nicked. Yeah. Come back. We'll go back to the Tories. Yeah, fuck knows. I don't know. It's a massive mess. Go on.
Who was it posted something earlier about Farage? Oh, I can't remember now. It might have been Claire Hepworth.
Right.
I've lost my thread. But I think he's just over and above all of the performative shit. I'm still of the opinion the man's literally his role under the establishment is just to be a paid contrarian to disrupt.
Yeah.
But by the establishment or by Russia, who knows where the money's coming from. We still, we need to, if we could prove where his money's coming from, he'd be hied off into space.
I know. Yeah, I wrote similar something the other day that, he doesn't want to be Prime Minister. It's too much hard work. He would actually have to work for a living if he was a PM. And he hasn't got that in him. He's not he doesn't have the work ethic. I mean, even Boris Johnson, at least, did he put some effort? He put a bit of effort in, but I don't think even Farage would match up to Boris Johnson's low bar of work ethic as a Prime Minister. I don't think he wants it. As you say, paid contrarian. I think that's it for him.
I don't think... Right, I'm going to say something here, and I really don't want to be misconstrued, so let me get my words carefully. I think that whilst Boris is responsible for the mass murder of hundreds of thousands of people, I don't think he has the sadistic streak that Farage has. I think Farage has less...
Were you going to say morals there?
No, don't be ridiculous. Neither of them have got one between them.
No, okay.
I think there's something eminently likeable. Whether you like him or not, there is something eminently likeable about Boris when you're in a room with him.
Mm-hmm.
Farage doesn't have that.
No.
And Farage, I think Boris wants to be the head of a great country, but his timing and his company was very off, and there was no other option. And I'm not excusing him, because I would put him in the spaceship immediately with Elon Musk and Trump and everyone else. But compared to that toad,
I
think the toad is eminently more damaging.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree on
national
that.
Scale.
I think Johnson.
I just they're differently evil.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Boris Johnson, would you put him as evil inherently? I don't think I would put him like that. I would
killed
just
hundreds of thousands of people without giving a shit, so that thousands of millionaires and billionaires could profit. Yeah, he's evil.
Okay, all right. I'll take that back then. But
he's out to kill everybody.
That was
Fuck
Sunak,
the pensioners.
They're
going to die anyway.
No. Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. But I do know what you're saying.
It's
my
think, definition of evil.
No, I think Farage is because he's not. I don't think that's his goal. I just think he's not working to be prime minister, and I think
it's all about him.
Yeah, exactly. That's showing more now than it has done in the past, I think. And I think that press conference the other day was. I wrote something in the evening before that as has Farage blown it, because I don't think he's blown it necessarily, but he showed himself up as being a bit weak on that press conference. He didn't answer any questions properly. Some people on Twitter kept saying, "Oh, at least he answered questions, not like Starmer, who never answered a question." And I was like, "Well, did he?" And
he did, did he?
Well, technically, he answered every question, but he didn't answer the question that he was asked.
Yeah, but you went through them.
Yeah, I did every single question. And that's why I just want to pick up on like 2 or 3 things that came out of that. There were five questions. 5 reporters asked him about whether he would be comfortable sending people back to their home countries to be tortured. 5 different reporters: BBC, ITV, Sky News, Channel 4, Channel 5, and one other. I can't remember, the PA maybe. He didn't answer a single one of those. He just immediately deflected from that word. As soon as he heard the word torture, he started waffling about Epping hotels, about anything that he could find. And Reform has become this party of whataboutery now. They don't like being questioned. People are cottoning on very, very slowly that if you ask him specific questions, they won't answer. He'll just move on and move aside. He's the master of waffle and divert, Farage. So the torture question never got answered. So then who asked him specifically about the Taliban? Bear with me, it's right here. Oh yeah, it was the I paper.
It's interesting that at least the questions are finally being asked.
Yes, exactly. That's it. That's what I'm saying. They're cottoning on.
There.
Yeah, exactly. It's a step in the right direction, but because he won't answer there, like, people just give up. They'll be like, "Oh, fuck it, I can't be asked to ask him a difficult question because we know he won't answer it." But the I newspaper asked him about, how much are you willing to pay the Taliban? Would you be happy to negotiate with the Taliban? Because he said he would. And he went on about, he started going on about Tony Blair. And like, that was his answer to the question about the Taliban was, well, when Tony Blair was in power, he kept saying your feet wouldn't touch the ground if you came here illegally. Again, false equivalence. It's not the same. But what else did he say? Oh yeah, The Sun. Noah Hoffman. Have you come across Noah Hoffman from The Sun? She's the political editor. I've seen her online quite a lot. But she stood up and she started asking a question, and I don't know her from Adam, but she looked like she was about 17. It's a very young woman to be political editor of The Sun. But her question was pretty much more extreme than Zaya Yusuf's entire speech. She was really very forceful in her questioning. Why is Keir Starmer putting foreign rapists above UK citizens? That was part of her question. Definitely not leading, obviously. And she said to him, there's 4 years to the election. How are you going to continue to put pressure on the Prime Minister? Or how are you going to... Farage just sort of gave her a look and started laughing with his smug grin, saying, "Do you really think there's going to be 4 years to the next election?" Really like giving it the big sort of frog face grin to her. So,
That's the fucking plan. They're just going to disrupt everything till they're forced to call a GE.
that looks like that might be their
that
plan. Yeah. That might be the plan.
Get the fuck out of here.
Because I saw something again today, and I think, was it Tice or Anderson? I can't remember. One of them had put something about Rachel Reeves going to be forced into emergency budgets and there's going to be a forced general election. I reckon that is their goal, because they can't keep this up for 4 years.
There'll be a wealth tax before that happens, knobhead.
But they can't keep this up for 4 years, can they? It's just impossible to keep this.
No, of course they can't, which is... We've been saying that from the off, haven't we, really?
Yeah, exactly.
It's
so in that kind of setup...
It's going to lead very easily into a mental health segment, that much I can tell you.
Yeah. Well, that's... Yeah.
They're crackers.
Yeah. Give me one more minute on this and then we'll finish it up, because it is crazy.
No, just generally, it's no hurry. I mean,
yeah.
The listeners might feel differently.
Yeah, they might. I'm fucking fed up of it as we are. But
I'm joking.
I just wanted to highlight 2 more points. First, I'll come back to the question in a minute from Camilla Tominay, because it was mad. But the whole thing I watched was that... Yeah, exactly. This was live streamed by The Telegraph on their YouTube channel. And I was watching it the next day. But they had a ticker across the bottom, a chyron, for the entire hour and 20 minutes of the broadcast, saying, "Donate to Reform. Please donate to Reform. Join up here, donate your money."
How is that legal?
That's my question. The Telegraph newspaper are literally broadcasting a party political donation plea.
Paper of record. Somehow.
Well, is it still? It can't possibly be, can it?
Yeah.
It's just... They're the Reform Gazette, effectively. They may as well rebrand themselves as now.
We're already lying to people that haven't been born yet.
Yeah. I know, it's absolutely crazy. So that's something I'm looking into, because that can't possibly be legal, that the Telegraph newspaper are allowed to broadcast an hour and 20 minutes on their YouTube with continuously scrolling donation requests for Reform UK. That can't be allowed. It's surely against... So if anyone's listening who has more knowledge than I about broadcast regulations and broadcast political law, I'd love to know what you think, because I'm trying to look into it, but I'm not schooled in that. So any help on that would be nice. But so because the Telegraph are clearly sort of sponsoring the entire thing now, they had 2 journalists there, where everyone else only had 1. And so they got 2 questions, because they're the Reform Gazette. The second question was from Camilla Tominay, and she was asking about... There's 1.3 million people on the housing waiting list in the country. Would you ensure that British people were first? And then she just said...
Doesn't work like that.
Then well, no. I mean, that wasn't really her question, because then she just said straight away, immediately said, "And Angela Rayner's got a new second home. Should MPs be allowed to have 2 homes?" So, Farage, because Farage
She's asking Farage, who has how many?
4 in the UK that we know of, all bought since Brexit as well. No, so I think 3 since Brexit and one before. But
that's why Gwen Towler was being reasonable.
How many houses is
I knew there'd be an answer.
How many does Tice own? Hundreds, I think. He's got a huge...
How many's Towler got?
Yeah, I don't know. No idea about him. But Farage, obviously... Tominay was obviously setting him up to talk about Angela Rayner, and he kind of fumbled a bit and then said, "Oh, well, you..."
Done a very sticky wicket.
Well, this is the thing. So he said, "Oh, well, if she's doing well enough, but I'm not sure she is. If she's done well enough, but I don't know if she's that good at business, then she should be able to buy a second home." But you sort of, half-arsing the response, because he's got houses. All of the Reform MPs have got houses, plural. So, but then he started going off about two-tier justice, Lucy Connolly and Ricky Jones, in response to a question about housing. So, yeah, I don't know. The one, yeah. So Anna Gross from the FT asked him about and pointed out to him that the UK is only 17th in the list of European countries for accepting migrants. We're way down the list, 17th.
Negligible almost.
Yeah, exactly. What did he think about that? And he started ranting about Jean-Claude Juncker, Angela Merkel, Brexit. And then he went on for about 4 minutes about Brexit and how he was always right. It was all about him. He said, if you let one in, millions will follow. And he literally said, and I put it in quotes, I was alone in being right about this from the very start. What? So
going to have some more medicine, I think.
But that just shows you Farage's ability to be asked one question and answer three different ones. You know, yes, he answers the questions.
This is not healthy human behavior.
No, it really isn't.
Any metric.
It's not. And the fact that he had lives, this entire thing was broadcast from start to finish by the BBC News Channel, BBC Parliament, GB News, Sky News, Talk TV, The Telegraph, LBC News.
Oh, Don. I hate to break it to you, love, but I tried to pull it up to show somebody the interruptions because they were very funny. And I didn't actually get given the option on YouTube of any British channels. They were all from Asia.
Is that because of your VPN?
Like the Hindustan Times and stuff. So that cunt's global.
Oh yeah, no, it is as well. Yeah. But just in the UK alone, how you're getting the four main news broadcasters, including two from the BBC, like it's mad. It's absolutely
given
mad.
How little traction everybody else is getting.
Yeah, 4 MP parties like the Green Party, or 72 MP parties like the Liberal Democrats don't get an iota of this kind of coverage. Not even remotely close.
And where is Michael Gray to be found exactly, the head of Ofcom?
He's pointless, isn't he? The whole Ofcom body is completely and utterly pointless now. It's worthless. Yeah, it really is.
It's,
I was reading through their website weirdly the other day, because I'm sort of really exciting stuff that I do in my spare time, and looking at past decisions they'd made, and they really haven't ruled badly against anyone since last year, 2024. And they've got hundreds of open investigations. So even then, either they're just ignoring them, they haven't got the staff, or they just haven't got the will to kind of, push on with these investigations. But I don't know. But they're worthless, Ofcom, absolutely worthless. So, yeah.
We talk about it every week, don't we? And it's just baffling. Somebody on Twitter put out statistics yesterday, I think, of like by MP how much airtime parties should get and how much they do get, and the disparity is quite overwhelming.
Oh, was that the Cardiff University study? I think I saw as well.
Might have been. I can't remember.
They were focusing on Newsnight and stuff, but it's yeah. I just the last thing out of that was, a lot of headlines were made from the press conference, obviously, which is what they want, particularly about their willingness. Zaya Yusuf is now the guy whose Doge has failed, so he's now the man that's going to deport women and children to the Taliban. That's his job. But John Sweeney, the excellent John Sweeney, put out a riposte yesterday, I think it was. Yeah, yesterday. And he said, I'm going to read this from John Sweeney because it's interesting and it's really important for some context on the Taliban. And he said, the Taliban were ready and willing to provide a base for Al-Qaeda to launch 9/11. The Taliban were ready and willing to kill me in November 2021 on the road from Jalalabad to Kabul. The Taliban did kill Harry Burton, an Australian cameraman for Reuters, Julio Fuentes, a Spanish correspondent for the Madrid-based newspaper El Mundo, Maria Grazia Cutuli, an Italian correspondent for the Milan-based daily Corriere della Sera, and Azizullah Haidari, an Afghan-born photographer for the Reuters news agency on that day, and countless others. He says Nigel Farage wants to do a deal with the Taliban. The Taliban are bad actors, so is Nigel Farage. And I think that should be the takeaway from this whole thing, that Farage and Yusuf are bad actors in the political sense of the word. They, in my opinion, they're a national security threat, and they should be looked at in that respect.
Hashtag the Russia report.
There you go.
Where the fuck is that, please?
Yeah, like that, almost like it never existed, that one, wasn't it?
But that's another thing that Labour are not doing anything about.
No, it's very true.
Which begs a question.
Yeah. Yeah, why?
There's so many ways they could have brought reform down already, and they're not doing any of it. And you've got to ask yourself, why?
Yeah, it's a bit scary if you start asking
How is
why.
this democracy?
Yeah, if you start questioning why Labour aren't doing it, that's what worries me about the whole situation. It's exactly that. It's not that Labour are fucking everything up, because, I mean, apart from the fact that they are, but why are they not doing the simple thing, like they could take out reform like that? It seems to me. But hey.
There's so many angles you can attack them from with the resources the government have, and not even in a getting rid of a political oppo way, but in a, like you say, a national security threat way.
Yeah.
I can't fathom it.
No, and this is what
I've got suspicions, but everything's a conspiracy, isn't it?
Well, this is it, and this is why I'm really,
because they exist.
Go on. Yeah, well, this is why I'm really interested in seeing what he's going to be saying in front of this committee in Congress in next week, and we'll talk about it on here, and I'm going to write it up for byline. He's going to
have to be very careful, isn't he?
Wow, this is what I'm wondering, how buoyed he'll be, how kind of overconfident he might feel. But I don't know. There's one thing I did notice that he said. He was on sort of caught on mic a bit when he said to Zaya Yusuf when he came on. He said at the beginning, he said, "Oh no, you stand on that side because I've got bad hearing." So he's losing his hearing a bit. But not that that's particularly relevant. I just found it interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Overconfidence might do for him at some point, but we shall see what they come up with in next week in America. When all the other normal politicians are back at work in Parliament, he's swanning off to Washington, D.C. to sit in front.
Isn't he in Washington when Trump's here, or have I made that up?
I'm not sure. I can't remember when Trump's coming. October, is it?
I thought it was September.
Is it September? Well, he's going.
I'm wrong.
He's going there next week. Yeah, he's in front of the judiciary.
The 12th of September rings a bell for some reason, and I think I looked at buying train tickets.
Oh, right, okay. I'm not sure.
I just meet you in Birmingham instead.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Saturday. Can't wait. No, Farage is going to Washington. He's going to sit in front of this committee in Congress, and then he's scheduled to speak at the NatCon conference. The usual bollocks that he goes and speaks at every year.
Nazi conference.
Yes, the Nazis. Yeah, that's it exactly. So, anyway, that I think. Let me just double check, but I'm pretty sure that's my reform roundup. I could go on and on and on. Oh no, sorry. One last thing. GB News, the political. I'm going to find his name. Their senior political commentator Nigel Nelson on GB News. I'll put a link to this in the show notes because if I can put a clip in, I will. But we're finding it a bit tricky putting clips in. They keep getting struck off by YouTube. But if not, I'll put a link in. Nigel Nelson from GB News, actual GB News political senior commentator, took Lee Anderson apart on the show. Sorry, I'm umming a bit there. No, Alex Armstrong's show.
What?
Yeah. So Lee Anderson basically kept saying, people want everyone deported. The public want everyone deported. And Nigel Nelson kept saying, well, you can't just leave the ECHR and all these different conventions because you're going to collapse a Good Friday Agreement. The EU are going to sort of have to force a renegotiation on the Brexit deal because that was all part and parcel of the Brexit deal. All of these things have consequences. People in Northern Ireland, potentially, if the Good Friday Agreement fails, violence could spark there. Would you be happy with that? And he said, well, people just want to be, everyone else to be deported. They've got no answer to anything when they're questioned. So please, GB News reporters or not, fucking ask them questions. That's it for reform. I'm done.
They're not difficult to pick apart, are they?
No, really easy.
Which is
really,
why
really easy.
all these journalists that are giving them the airtime and aren't holding them to account properly are complicit as fuck.
Completely. 100%.
In everything, in all the side effects of what's happening.
Sorry?
I can't imagine the salary I'd take to do that.
What, to sit opposite Lee Anderson and rip him to pieces?
No. To interview political people and not hold them to account.
Oh, I see what you mean.
I don't think I'm incapable. I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
For all the tea in China, because
Yeah.
where's the self-worth and the professionalism and the integrity, and where's all that gone?
But they don't have it. They don't have it. I think there's an answer to that sort of a bit from the press conference, because they had 20 questions from 19 different journalists, and every single one of them, bar about 2 or 3, were very sycophantic when answering their questions, as if to say, please don't strike me off from the press pack. The way they ask questions, Mr. Farage, oh, lovely to speak to you, Mr. Farage.
But if they all stood together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Nigel needs them, not the other way round.
Nah, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's like what's the word? Symbiotic relationship with the press and Farage, because he generates so much click.
Symbiotic.
Yeah, symbiotic, and they generate so much interest for their papers and their media outlets. I'm just wondering if they've been told they have to keep him on side. Don't go too hard on him.
There are other people they can report on.
Well, you think? Yeah, I know.
But that again points to the fact that these people aren't the ones in fucking control.
No.
Anyone picking up on this?
Well, us, but that's it. Yeah. Well, and Ed Davey, actually, to be fair. Back to Ed Davey again.
Well, yeah.
He called it out today on Radio 4 this morning. He said that Brexit and the Tories was to blame for the small boats crisis currently. And he's not wrong, is he?
Factually correct.
Yeah,
proven
exactly.
by data.
Exactly. Carol Cadwallader put it out this afternoon saying, there you go, it's not rocket science. What Ed says. It's true.
Do you know what we should do?
Go on.
We should have a weekly Carol Hedges Award for common decency.
Yes, that's a nice. I would, yeah.
What say you, Carol?
Happily do that, definitely. Yeah, the Carol Award. Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, let's think about that. Right, I'm done. I'm not going to try. I say I'm not going to talk about reform anymore, but I bet I do. So let's move on.
Well, I was just going to ask you, because I obviously have had a lot of depression, anxiety, and CPTSD to deal with throughout my life. Exacerbated incredibly by, the government and all their doings. But I wanted to talk to you about it because you're, for all intents and purposes, a regular Joe with a regular family.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to ask how the political landscape affects you.
Yeah.
Do you have anything, any sort of, are you able to compartmentalize it, or does it keep you awake at night, or make you very angry?
Anger, yes, a bit. I think my whole life has been. Okay, let's think about this. At the moment, I
Sorry, put
don't.
you on the spot a bit.
No,
I
it's
didn't.
it's
I didn't
absolutely
mean to. I just thought we could have a general
no, it's
back and
absolutely fine.
forth.
I'm just trying to think of of a way to answer it. As things stand right now, I'm not gonna like make any pretense. I'm not in a position where I need to worry too much about things. I don't have any overarching worries financially or kind of family wise or
Yeah.
anything like that. I'm fortunate right now, but my whole life I have not been like that throughout my life. I've had periods of my life. They were talking about homelessness the other day on the radio, and I was thinking about it. I was thinking there's been 2 or 3 times in my life where I potentially could have been homeless. I was close to it. I've have had really tough times in my life,
Yeah.
and how I think I've got this. I think I'm quite robust in terms of compartmentalization is maybe the right word, or maybe I've got this wall I can bring down where I can put the shit to the back and not dwell on it. I've always been able to do that. I think growing up where I did and in the circumstances we did with, no money and poor, and you just have to deal with your lot in life. So from an early age, that's what I did. So I think that has helped me in the tough parts of my life be able to manage things like that. There have been periods where I've really struggled. I mean, really had bad depression, but only I'd say maybe twice in my whole life for probably a few months at a time. And I've been lucky enough to come out the other side and been okay with it. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's just a way of growing. When I grew up, that's how I managed to. It's all kind of being able to
But
rationalize
if
it
you've
in my
been on the
head.
brink of homelessness, imagine
Yeah,
what you feel like if you were in that position today.
yeah. No, it'd be awful.
Like so many people are.
Awful.
It's just,
Yeah,
there's people on Twitter who are in like ropey accommodation and sofa surfing, and
I know.
it's horrifying. I don't know how they cope.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I hadn't had a child,
Mhm,
I would have been in exactly the same predicament, I would
mhm.
imagine.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was lucky.
Yeah.
Anyway, um,
Go on.
it's so exhausting and draining, and that's before you even look at the politics, just existing in this world. But something we don't talk about enough, I think, it's not just screen time and we're all addicted to screens. It's the new era of technology, and
Mhm.
there's just too much you have to know to be able to exist well in the world.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like my age, because I like to think I'm quite open-minded and fairly quick to learn in some ways, but just trying to save money. There's nothing more expensive than being poor.
Mm.
And there are ways you can save money and get coupons and this, that,
Yeah.
and the other, but then you've got to go into apps and you've got to have memberships and you've got to be signed up to stuff, and then there's data harvesting and how do you protect yourself, and what about phishing, and it's never ending.
Yeah.
And then things update and change, and then we do it a new way, and we're taking in gazillions more information than we're remotely evolved for.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
really need to talk about to a neurologist about that at some point, because
Yeah.
it must be a thing.
Oh, definitely.
We're not programmed to evolve as fast as technology does. It's taken us millennia,
Mm. Yeah.
and then virtually overnight, we're supposed to turn into these fucking supercomputers just to exist.
Yeah. No, I know. Yeah,
No
I think you
wonder
meant.
people are struggling, and there's an epidemic in diagnoses.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that on like episode 1. I think was the very first podcast was this sort of the fact that our brains are so far behind the data that they're receiving at the moment. It's just impossible to
But
deal
don't
with.
look at that. All these rich people need to earn more money.
Exactly. I know. It.
You don't get productivity from people with broken brains.
No, of course not. No, you definitely don't.
It's
It's a
all
tough time.
just
They had.
absolutely batshit.
I've been listening to LBC again a bit while I've been in the car this week, and they had Ben Kentish was talking about homelessness first of all, he was talking about young people out of work, and lots of young people called in and said they can't get a job. They've tried to get jobs, they just can't get. There's no jobs out there, or it's the volume of people trying to apply for the same position where they're struggling, and so youth unemployment's like through the roof at the moment, and all the big companies, as you keep saying, are blaming the national insurance rise from Rachel Reeves, going, oh well, we're going to have to, like, that's going to reduce our profits by like 0.03%, so we're going to have to lay off 6,000 people and not hire anyone for 2 years, rather than take a dent in profits, because they can't, they won't.
The greed is just the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly it, right? It's just
and
pure.
You're right, because my friend who I referred to earlier that I was talking to about whatever it was, she's the one who's got the son in his 30s who's got a first in English, can't get a job for shit. My son is 19, finished college a year ago. Raging SEN problems. Very intelligent to have a conversation with, but you ask him to explain something or do some maths, he just falls to pieces. And he's been trying to get a job for the last year, and he's had a couple of sort of bit jobs here and there, but always 0-hour contracts. So in the end, I got a place in St Helens called The Ways to Work, and I went in because I'd read that they do supported apprenticeships for SEN kids.
Okay,
he's 19, cool. And they've put all this money into something called Trailblazers in Liverpool, which is over the border, but sometimes we're included with them. So I'm just trying to get my placement somewhere, really, because his mental health is in the toilet.
Yeah.
From COVID, from the isolation. He's now got raging social anxiety because he spent too long indoors on his own.
It's horrible.
And I'm having to manage that. And I went in and I said, look, I heard about this Trailblazers thing in Liverpool, and I know that there are supported apprenticeships for SEN kids. I'm trying to get my son integrated into that because he's just floating around unhappily. Set an appointment up. She ended up ringing him. Comes off the phone, and he's never the most vocal at reporting back to me. But I said, so what did you say? She said, sending him a CV or whatever. Right. Did she mention apprenticeships? No. Did she mention supported placements? No. It's just the same old shit.
Yeah.
What the fuck? I literally went in specifically to talk to her about those two things.
Yeah.
To talk to my son to get him into one. And then she rings him up and just puts him on the regular email list that he's already on.
Yeah, it's no good, is it?
And we wonder why kids can't get jobs.
I know.
Fuck me.
I know.
So, yeah.
I think it must be really difficult for kids, particularly of that sort of age, like you say, 19 through 25-ish, maybe up to 30, who really struggled during COVID. But now they're sort of come out the other end of it. They're trying to get a job, and they're all trying to go for the same jobs. And so the companies are going, no, fuck off. We're not putting a dent in our profits. So we'll put you on a 0 hours, which is another result of greed, right? And we might pay you, we might employ you, we might not. Go home, we'll ring you. And that's fucking devastating, I must imagine, to be in that position as a young person. Because at least when I was a kid, I mean, I worked from the age of about, I don't know, when did I get my paper? Around about 12 or something, and I worked my whole life, always had a job.
I was 14.
But I was always able to, I was in catering and bars and stuff, so I was always, there was always jobs about. So it was always okay to get a job. I think I signed on a couple of times when I was in London for the first time, but it didn't take long before I found something. And so, but that atmosphere doesn't really exist anymore. And I think I was at the tail end of it 30 years, 20 years ago, whatever it was.
Well,
go on.
I bounced through a few jobs when I was younger. Well, a few different career paths.
Yeah.
And I never got sacked, but I left the jobs because I ended up really unhappy in them. And to fill in between, I'd go and do bar work, and it was always available, except now they've brought in the smoking ban, and the pubs are shut down.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and the price of booze has gone up so high that even more pubs are closing down.
I know. Yeah, it's that sort of
Cannabis cafes, that's what we need.
Yeah. But it is that self-perpetuating.
Marvellous. No one's ever died from smoking cannabis.
No. Oh, it didn't.
Directly.
Yeah. I saw. Oh, fucking hell. Who was it? Oh, yes, I can remember. Peter Hitchens, that bastion of fucking arseholery, was on GB News trying to blame yesterday's school shooting on marijuana.
Oh, you're doing it now.
What's that?
Doing what?
Peter Hitchens was.
What he was doing? Sorry, I'm not hearing you very well.
All right, go on. Peter Hitchens was on GB News and he blamed the school shooting yesterday in America on marijuana use. So.
Makes me less murderous generally.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Thankfully.
Unless it's Peter Hitchens. Anyway, I don't know.
God,
yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, he's horrible.
What's wrong with them?
I don't know.
Well, we know what's wrong with them.
Well, we know what's wrong with him.
On the back of the...
he just wants to be his brother. But yeah, go on.
Yeah, so just while we're talking about children,
Mm-hmm.
as I mentioned at the top of the hour, the right wing stole my separate topic from me.
Yeah.
Because Reform gegged on to... where shall I start? So I went to Warrington on Sunday. Never been before. Shopping's supposed to be good. It's all right. On the way back to the car, we heard a ruckus walking down the street, and it quickly became apparent there was a gang of screaming children. Now, when I say screaming children, I mean like 15 kids ranging from 3'2" up to about 6 foot tall.
Yeah.
All at best teenagers, certainly no older.
Mm-hmm.
Seemed quite young. I tried to video it, mainly because I wanted them to stop doing what they were doing. They were trying to murder a bin that was bolted to the floor. But it sounded like they were trying to kill a person or something.
Yeah.
They were so rabid and high-pitched and just pathologically unhinged. They weren't like kids messing and shouting and screaming. They were like screaming with every last cell in their body, just trying to get this bin moved that was bolted to the floor. It was baffling. So I started filming it. It was in front of a takeaway in a corner shop. Obviously, people were just like, that's not me, unfortunately, in that situation. So I got my phone out and I thought, I'll film it and then I can just send it to the Rozzers and, because these kids are neglected and abused. Mm-hmm. Healthy kids don't behave like that.
No.
Naughty kids don't behave like that. They weren't naughty. They were bonkers.
Mm-hmm.
To the point where, I was fine in myself, but my entire body was shaking for about 10 minutes afterwards because it was just, they were rabid.
Mm-hmm.
And I was with my friend who's 6'3", so I was in no danger. But as soon as they saw me filming, why is she filming, the stupid cunt? Mm-hmm. Oh, you fat bitch, go and fucking kill yourself. Perfectly normal response to a woman just walking down the street doing that with her phone, wasn't even looking at them.
Wow.
Absolutely beyond. Now, we've had trouble in this town with kids. I think probably every town has because, we shut youth clubs 30 years ago.
Yep.
And they've got nothing to do except look at screens or roam around on the streets. But we seem to be reaching fever pitch. And then, of course, I switch on Twitter on, was it yesterday?
I'm sure what day it was, but yeah, earlier
there's a
in the week.
video of a 12-year-old girl in Dundee brandishing a machete and a hammer, screaming at a fella who has been proven to have done nothing wrong, and accused him, because he's an immigrant from, I think, Bulgaria. She said he attacked her and beat her friend up, and he did no such thing. In fact, I believe the child's mother attacked the man's sister in reality for nothing, because clearly not psychologically well and needs to be in a mental health unit. Yeah. It doesn't take a psychologist to see that video, work that out. That kid is abused and neglected and needs help.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
why don't we have that help? Why has she got to this stage? Because, support services and social services, they don't exist anymore.
No, there are
They've
none.
all been cut because of austerity.
Yeah.
That would be why her mother never got any help and why she's infected her own child with the same fucking upbringing she probably had.
I know. It's mad, isn't it?
You don't need to be a quantum physicist to understand this stuff, Don.
No. No, you don't.
And it's just being roundly ignored.
Yeah.
We are failing our children across the board.
Oh yeah, completely failed in large parts, and that whole story about the girl in Dundee got so blown out. I think it actually happened last weekend, but it got co-opted, as you said, by the far right, and then there was all these memes going around going, she's going to protect us from immigrants and all this shit, to the point where I saw, yesterday, I've got it here, the police Scotland issued a warning over the misinformation being shared in relation to that incident, because it's got so out of hand. The police have had to step in because it was just a Bulgarian couple, and they've been in the country for 4 years, so they're here legally. They lived in Dundee for 4 years quite happily, and this young girl went off the rails. And what did she have? A machete and an axe in her hand, one in each hand.
Yeah, it was an axe, wasn't it? Not a hammer, sorry.
A machete
I mean,
and an
what
axe.
12-year-old kid has access to those kinds of weapons, please?
I know. What I noticed from the video...
Seriously, what kid has access to those weapons, and what kid sees fit to go and find them to go and attack somebody?
Well, exactly. No, they shouldn't. I mean... But
Not a healthy one.
If you watch that video, and the part of it towards the end, she's walking away and she just puts the machete down her trousers like you see in the movies, as if, she's done this a million times. It wasn't, I just saw that. I was like, oh, that's not the first time you've done that, is it? She obviously walks around with this machete in her trackies and, and just whips it out and starts attacking people. It's fucking mental. As you say, the culmination of fucking decades now, two decades of austerity and support services been absolutely annihilated. Yeah.
This is the result. It was ever thus, and we need to do something about it. And the trouble we've got is the likes of Generic. In fact, there it is. Fucking bastard jumping on my topic. Dick Lice tweeted earlier, overdiagnosing mental health in young stretches state to the brink. Completely unsustainable, needs reform, in upper capitals. Send is totally out of control and risks bankrupting many councils unless totally reformed.
Yeah.
So you're saying that people reacting perfectly naturally to unnatural conditions is something the country can't afford. So how are you going to make that sustainable? Pretend it's not a problem and just keep ignoring it?
Yeah, who knows? I know.
They're utterly morally and intellectually bankrupt. They should be in prison for this. It's batshit.
Mm-hmm.
But what I was going to say, off the back of the Dundee thing, that I am almost certain... hang on, I'm just trying to find it. So, there, that was right. I picked it up from an account called Right Angle News, with 250,000 followers, claiming to be an independent news reporter. He tweeted the video, breaking: police have arrested and charged a 14-year-old girl. She was 12, it turns out. Even the BBC reported she's 14. After she was forced, she was not, to brandish a knife, not a knife, to defend herself and her friend against a migrant who attempted to assault her.
Yeah.
In Dundee, Scotland. Not true. That's
complete
not what
lies.
happened
Yeah.
at all. Bullshit. I retweeted it and I just said, this is disgusting. From the child brandishing weapons to her little gang of screaming friends to the fact-free rhetoric pumped out by this account. This shit is what's destroying the UK, not immigrants. The stupid led by the wicked. And, I tweet quite a lot, and you send out into the ether and you leave it and you hope for the best. Well, definitely, 612,000 views so far.
Yeah.
And boy, did I bring all the bots to the yard. It was my first proper attack, and I'm honoured.
Welcome to the club.
It was such a pleasure.
Your badge is in the post. Yeah.
Oh, I swear to they're just. Do you know what's lovely though? Because it like that sort of shit really did used to trigger me, and it's taken me a lot of years to deliberately train myself to be like stone cold.
Yeah.
And it's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's so good to just sit there and laugh because they're pretend people like, but some of it is just outrageous. She says. I mean, obviously we had that got tagged with "I find retards" a lot.
Oh yeah,
because they just want Musk's attention, don't they?
Yeah.
I hope one of those migrants says hello to you soon.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of them.
That seems to be the kind of go-to response for a lot of these bots and trolls.
I'm a Marxist.
Oh, yeah,
there's nothing badass about you. You would be happier if a group of migrants raped her than you are that she brandished weapons to defend herself. Cool story.
Yeah. That's the textbook response now, isn't it? They just send you these replies going, "Oh, you don't care about women and girls?" Then, like, well, yeah, obviously I do, but that's got nothing to do with this situation.
Got over like it's had over 1,000 comments, and 95% of them are bots.
Yeah.
So I win this week's Bot Attraction Award. Get on me.
Indeed.
To block them all.
I'm going to make a little graphic for the YouTube video, so I'll put it up.
But it was interesting because what I did just to sort of, I played with Twitter a little bit. And because there was some of them that were clearly bots, but with like massive followers. So I went off and spoke to Grok, and it turns out you can literally just go out and buy an account with an amount of followers.
Yeah.
And they're all bots.
Yes.
But it looks like you've got a really popular account.
Yeah, it's an amplification.
So once I get onto that, I was like, well, I'll use you for your algorithm then.
Yeah,
we'll see where that takes us. And lo and behold, I clung on to the ones with the big accounts and started interacting with them.
That's right.
I blocked all the, go kill yourself slag ones. But, and sure enough, I've got like another 300 followers just off that one tweet. That's more than I've had in 2 whole years. It's absolutely crackers.
There is a bit of an art form to sort of riding the bot pony, as it were, like getting out there, and once they start, you only have to, like you just said, you only have to reply to 2 or 3 different ones, and then it kind of exponentially explodes into this cloud of kind of traction online. So, but that's what, the right wing have been doing successfully for a while. The other side of it, our side of it, the real normal people side of it, don't seem to have that ability to weaponize the kind of bot farms yet. So, but
this is what I'm talking, like when I was saying before about mental health and how much stuff you've got to know to be able to understand how to get things done. Or
definitely the tricks of the trade, as it were.
Switch it on and off and I can shake it, but after that I'm all out of ideas.
Yeah. Just talking about that bot thing, I looked through my bookmark, and I have a bookmark on Twitter called NoHoldBarred Saves, because I just read so much, and I just stick it in that little folder on Twitter and go and come back to it, like if I'm going to talk about it or I'm not. And now I forgot about this, but Emily Thornberry was on LBC yesterday morning. I think she was covering from James O'Brien. They have different MPs or different ex-MPs on every morning. And obviously she got so much abuse on Twitter. And one of them...
they got Cleverly in today, haven't they?
Yeah, I heard a bit of him, actually. I'll mention him in a second. But someone said a comment to Emily Thornberry, and it just says, do us a favour and fuck off. So she wrote back to him in Russian. and I had to translate it, obviously. And it just says, do me a favour, fuck off bot. But in Russian, she wrote it. And I thought that was quite a nice touch from Emily Thornberry, actually. So, yeah.
It's a very nice touch, and it annoys me because I recognise so many of her characteristics. Makes me a bit uncomfortable.
But I just thought that was a nice, excellent response from Emily Thornberry to the bot bullshit. Yeah. So,
it's crackers, yeah. I mean, she's got personality. You can't take that away from her.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard
designed.
I heard James Cleverly this morning on when I was in the car again, and I genuinely think that if he was the leader of the Conservative Party, they'll win the next election. Hot take. That's what I think. He's a personable guy.
Fuck off.
I know. I seriously do. I
4
think
years after destroying everything.
he's. I'm taking this completely objectively. Like if I extricate myself from everything politically, if they put James Cleverly into the leadership of the Conservative Party, I think they've got a good shout. With what Starmer's doing now, and he's a different type of person to the rest of them. He seems more compassionate and normal. And he's not. I know he's not. And there's millions of things we can find that's wrong with him. But I reckon if the Tories want to have a modicum of success at the next election, that's the man for them. But I'm not saying I like the Tories or I like him. But
You've been really.
What?
I just don't want to give him any ideas.
Oh, I know. Too late.
I don't want to give him any ideas.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't want the Tories back. Nobody wants the fucking Tories back. But yeah, that was just something I thought this morning while I heard him on the radio.
I can't see it.
No.
4 years is a long time. And
it's a very long time. It's a very long time.
I still can't see them being able to encourage the amount of unrest that would require a GE.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
Adam Brooks has sailed very close to the wind with this one. And I don't know how people are becoming aware, aren't they? Councils are becoming aware. Because I believe, wasn't the legal action ongoing in Epping?
It's happening today.
It didn't just start because of the protests. There was already legal action in place.
Was there?
That there hadn't been a change of use or something about the building.
Oh, that's right. It was a planning regulation, wasn't it? It hadn't been.
Could be wrong. I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. It was a planning issue.
Or the protesters got them on a technicality, but I'm sure I heard that it was something that was already going through.
Yeah. No, I think you're right on that. I think it was planning.
And they're all trying to claim victory for it.
Well, that's going through the appeal today. I'm just going to flick up the news to see if it's on there, but
oh,
yeah, that's actually happening today. The appeal. So, right. So, what else have we got?
Oh, well, I'm pretty much done, to be honest.
Yeah. Just looking now at my notes.
9.5, is it?
Hour and 27. Yeah. Hour and 27.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Just for the second mention in the pod, I just wanted to mention Enunciata Rees-Mogg because I had a little thing with her this week. Not in that fashion, Jesus.
What? Careful now.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. Okay. She put a post out a couple of days ago.
There aren't many things that would end this podcast, but that is one of them.
That's it. We're finished. Right. I'm off. No. Jesus. God, no. Can you imagine? Anyway, no, she put out a post the other day about she'd taken her 2 teenage girls shopping in Bristol. And it's this big long post about walking
my
down
eyes, she fucking did.
Wow. She's saying she walked from the car park. There were drug addicts getting their gear ready. The ticket machine wasn't working. The escalator.
Yeah, I love the use of the word gear.
I know. She knows what she's talking about.
She's so street.
She said the numerous shops are empty, including the massive old Debenhams. Now, it goes on and on and on about how rough Bristol is. And I know Bristol. I lived in Bristol for years. I live half an hour from Bristol now. My son was born in Bristol. My dad lived in Bristol for 30 years. I'm inextricably linked to that city. I know it like the back of my hand. And I called her out and I said, "You're just talking absolute shit. These are lies." I just said that she was lying. I said, from context, I can tell that you've walked down one street called the Horse Fair, which is where old Debenhams used to be. And that street's always been pretty run down in Bristol. There's no doubt about it. It's always been like that. And the old Debenhams closed down in 2021 when her brother was in the Tory party, when they were ruining the country. And
because
I
her
pointed that
dad
out
wrote
to
the
her.
book on disaster capitalism.
Correct. So I pointed that out to her. And I just said, from context, you parked in Rupert Street car park, you walked the length of Horse Fair to McDonald's, and then you walked back again. She replied to me and basically said, no, actually, we parked in Cabot Circus and walked to Primark. Now, if anyone knows Bristol, that's the exact same route that I'm talking about. I just had it the wrong way around. So you parked in the car park at this end and walked that street and back. I said you walked that end. So I said, oh, I was right then. You did one street, which is the most rundown street in the centre of Bristol. And yeah, she was just, that was it. That's all she had to me. But it's just bullshit.
But
She's
the
trying to
thing
make
is,
a political
Don,
point.
the whole
Go on.
thing is, her entire family are the actual architects of disaster capitalism. Her dad
Exactly.
wrote the book. Her
Yes,
brother
literally.
rolled it out. And now the country's fucked, and she's got the gall to complain about that.
Mhm.
What?
I know.
Oh.
I just thought it was gross. I think she's trying to make a point about a city, which is actually very cool. There's loads of really, really cool stuff in Bristol. She's just trying to make it out like it's this dystopian hellhole, and I just wasn't having it, because it isn't. Bristol's an awesome
She
place.
needs to be shown what dystopian hell is.
Yeah, there's plenty of places around the country that she could visit that would fit the bill, but Bristol isn't one of them.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yeah. No, I know. But as you say, her father wrote the book, right? What was it called? I've forgotten the name of it, but it's Peter Thiel's favourite book. He
Sovereign Individual.
Sovereign Individual, that's it.
Yeah.
Peter Thiel modelled his whole entire work ethos off this book that Jacob Rees-Mogg's father wrote.
I actually tried to read it about a year ago, I think. Somebody sent me, you can get it, like, free copy of it somewhere.
Oh,
Somebody sent it to me, and I got about halfway through the first paragraph, and they tried to start invoking the mythical gods.
Oh, really?
And stories as, like, a bedrock. And I thought, fuck off.
Yeah.
Because I like tangible reality.
Yeah. But these
I don't
billionaires,
like a manufactured plot that enables you to kill it, like steal everything.
Well, these billionaires are sort of fascinated by these mythological stories, aren't they? Musk's absolutely enraptured by these things, and Peter Thiel's the same. They're like,
They're
not
delusional.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was about to say. They're not attached to reality, are they? That's they like to live their life in this fantasy land, and because they're worth $500 billion, they can. So, yep.
Mm-hmm.
That was one last thing. I've just segued into something myself, which I don't normally do. Musk has stuck his oar in again. Did you see this? Musk is joining forces with Tommy Robinson and Ben Habib to take on Reform and Starmer, I suppose. Not really. But they're splintering the far right even further.
He's very much backing a hobby horse in the Grand National with that, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He really is. But as I said, he's detached from reality, isn't he? So anyway.
They all are to varying degrees, and that's the fucking problem.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So, yeah. I think on that bombshell,
Yes.
unless you've got anything else. Yeah, so on that bombshell, billionaires are deluded weirdos. Maybe we should wrap it up for this week, I think.
Right, okay, yeah. So if everyone could like, share, subscribe, that'd be fabulous. Thank you for getting to the end and staying with us. And our numbers are going up, so thanks for all your support. We're very delighted.
Yeah, absolutely, all of that. So have a great weekend, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.